Hi guys, so today we're going to talk about 10 weight loss myths. Now I've come across these mainly through my experience by working at a weight loss company, helping people to lose the weight and get to their goal weight, and I've continued to do so at my own private practice now. So let's get myth busting so that you can return to your life a little bit more knowledgeable about what doesn't work for weight loss. So this is often the first thing that comes to mind to people when it comes to weight loss. And this is because it's a focus on decreasing calories, which does have merit for weight loss. But instead of a reasonable decrease in calories every day, people tend to go extreme and eat very little or only eat very low calorie foods. And that is what doesn't work. If you don't eat enough, especially if you are exercising alongside not eating enough, then your body is going to adapt to burn less calories. Just more simpler than that. You're going to be extremely hungry. And when you're extremely hungry, what you're going to search for is actually those high calorie, high sugar, high fat, high sodium foods that are going to be contradictory to your weight loss goals. Now, we used to have this notion that decreasing our daily calories by 500 calories will add up to a weekly of 3,500 calorie deficit, and that will be helpful towards losing 1 pound per week of weight. This theory originated from researcher Dr. Max Wishnowsky in 1958, who calculated that 1 pound of fat stores is about 3,500 calories of energy. Now, it was simple to use at the time, but weight loss is much more complicated than that. Figuring out how calories translate into weight loss over time is very difficult, and it's certainly not linear like this rule wants you to believe. Now, this rule might work in the short term, but it won't be very accurate in the long term, because while this rule doesn't take into account a lower calories for weight loss, it does not take into account the adaptations that our body will make due to the weight that has been lost. Your body will adapt to burning less calories as you lose weight, so weight loss slows down. Now, if you want a more accurate estimate of how much calories that you need to eat to achieve your weight loss goals by whatever certain amount of time, I have linked down below in the description box a tool that you can use to do that. So continuing with the last myth, people believe that it's just about the calories, not about the food. If I eat this much calories, then I will lose a certain amount of weight, but that's not true. A calorie is not a calorie, and it does matter where that calorie came from. Foods that are high in fiber and protein are going to help keep you full for longer, and it's just going to prevent you from reaching for extra snacks even after you just ate. So with carbs, lean towards whole grains like whole grain breads, oats, barley, brown rice, and quinoa. They will take longer to digest, having a more gradual effect on our blood sugars, and also are filled with fibers to make us feel full earlier and also keeping us full for longer. With protein, go for the lean protein, such as lean ground meats, poultry, fish, plant-based proteins like soybeans, tofu, and legumes to reduce the amount of calories and reduce saturated fat for heart health. And also choose healthier fats such as nuts, seeds, olive oil, and avocados for heart health benefits. Food doesn't gain like 10,000 calories the second it goes past 7 p.m. Just because you eat later doesn't mean that you're going to gain weight easier than everybody else. What could be happening here is that many people see food as relaxing. It's a relaxing activity to do after dinner, while watching TV, etc. And we tend to usually search for those sweets. So chocolate, candies, or also those salted foods like chips or tortilla chips and salsa, etc. And even though we are not hungry, we are emotionally eating or, eating out of boredom. So that might be where the extra calories come from, not from the time that you eat. So what might be a better solution is to actually figure out if you're hungry or not. And if you aren't, do something else. Drink a glass of water, go knit, play with your kids, play with your dog, go walk your dog. Just do something that occupies your hands and keeps your mind otherwise engaged. Also, to help you prevent these cravings, try to get regular meals and snacks throughout the day so that you don't feel very hungry late at night. But this busted myth doesn't apply to someone who has a health condition who actually needs to stop eating at a certain time. For example, if you have reflux, then it is recommended for you to stop eating about 2 to 3 hours at least before you go to bed, just so that you can reduce those reflux symptoms. Now, this is usually eliminating the carbs, the pasta, breads, bread rolls, rice, baked goods, etc. And sometimes people go so far as to do the keto diet, which is you're only eating about 20 to 50 grams of carbs per day, which is literally about maybe 1 to 2 pieces of fruit. Now, I've done a little bit about the keto diet and the low carb diet on my previous video about what's the best diet, and I'll link that down below in the description box as well. If you guys are interested, please go check it out. I think it's very informative for you. Getting back on track, as you can imagine, keto diet is not going to be very sustainable for a lot of people, and just in general, if something is not sustainable for your lifestyle, then you're not going to follow it. Then one, you're wasting all that time on something that doesn't work for you. And number two, you're just gonna go back to your regular habits and therefore nothing has changed. Now, we all know fruits and vegetables are an essential part of our diet. They are chock full of vitamins like vitamin C, vitamin A, B vitamins, potassium, and they are full of antioxidants as well. But what some people may not know is that whole grains and legumes, which are also a source of carbs, they can provide a lot of fiber, antioxidants, as well as vitamins and minerals as well, all of which are essential to our health. So instead of eliminating all carbs, we should focus on choosing higher quality carbs, such as the whole grains, as well as starchy vegetables like squash and sweet potato, and also exercise portion control by having a quarter of your plate filled with grains. So before we start off, I actually want to say thank you to this trend because it gave people who actually have celiac disease, who need to go on a gluten-free diet, a lot of freedom and a lot of visibility to the public. Okay, now that that's done, I'm gonna say it one more freaking time. If you do not have celiac disease, you do not need to go on a gluten-free diet. Celiac disease is a complicated autoimmune condition where by eating the gluten makes our immune system attack our intestines. And that's why people with celiac disease absolutely need to go on a gluten-free diet. But if you do not have this condition, you do not need to go on this type of diet. Besides, it can actually work against you. Now, a lot of people think, oh, I need to be on a gluten-free diet, let me go buy some gluten-free products. Products that are made gluten-free sucks. They are not palatable, not good at all. And to fix that, companies add in extra amounts of sugar, extra fat, extra sodium. In addition, sometimes the actual reason why following a gluten-free diet seems to help you with weight loss is because gluten is in more than just breads and pastas and rice. It's in baked goods, it's in pizza, it's in your burger. So if you're eliminating all that, then you're eliminating excess calories, and that could be what's helping your weight loss. Now, this might work for someone who actually has a really good relationship with food, but I think for the most of us, it's probably best not to do it this way. So eating clean for however amount of days and then having a cheat day is probably going to take several different physical and mental tolls on us. So number one, you can feel as though the quote-unquote healthy days are so tasteless and boring, and you absolutely crave the day where you can have your cheat meals. And this is going to create a situation where you're just not enjoying what you're eating every day, and that's a really crappy way to live. Number two, you're placing food in good and bad categories, and that's not something that you want to do if you want to have a healthy relationship with food, because this creates a lot of food preoccupation and guilt. If you eat something that usually belongs on your cheat days in a weekday where it's not supposed to be there, then you're going to be guilty, and no one should feel guilty about what they eat. If you deprive yourself of calories during that whole, again, quote-unquote healthy week, then you're more inclined to overindulge and overeat and overconsume all the calories that you've saved over the entire week. And this can overall lead to a binging dieting kind of pattern, which is not healthy for you. But like I mentioned, this type of thing can work for someone who has a good relationship with food. Instead of maybe a cheat day, do a cheat meal. Do a cheat meal every couple of days or up to every week. The general goal here is to find a pattern that lets you eat nutritiously for most of the time with occasional treats. This is what's going to be sustainable for your diet for the long term. Juice cleanses are like the bane of my dietitian existence. At the very best, juice cleanses just make you drink or eat, I guess, a lot more of fruits and vegetables. And while that's nice and all, what this basically is a very low calorie program that you sometimes pay hundreds of dollars for. As you can imagine, this is not going to be sustainable for the long term because you're going to get so hungry because you're not eating actual food, or really you're not even eating much. And if you're thinking that you're just going to try this for the short term instead of the long term, well, once you get off of that short term program, you're going to go back to eating the way that you used to, and potentially more because you might be feeling more hungry throughout all those days of not eating very much. And all that effort you went to is just going to be for nothing, because you're very likely going to gain that weight back because you are eating how you normally would again. Remember, we as humans are built for the long term. So we need to eat in a way that reflects that. So therefore, what might be a better idea if you do like to, drink your meals, would be to make a balanced smoothie. So having carbs, a source of protein, and healthy fats within a smoothie, and potentially a source of vegetables in there as well, can be a better option than juicing. Okay, so did I say juice cleanses were the bane of my existence? I was wrong. It's detox diets. What even is a detox diet? I think most of the time we just see that, it removes toxins from our bodies, and that comes in the form of teas that give you diarrhea. Or it could be just juice cleanses, which go back about a minute or so and please rewatch. We're taking the honorable mentions away from our livers and our kidneys. Those two are two of the most important organs in our bodies that help to get rid of toxins for us, and they do that just fine. There's no evidence on detox products, and we should not buy them. All we're doing is basically making it rain cash for the companies that promote them. Don't get me wrong, exercise is amazing and wonderful and provides us with so many health benefits. But diet in weight loss can play a greater role than exercise. Although the minimum guidelines for physical activity is very, very beneficial for cardiovascular health, it hasn't been shown to greatly induce weight loss without pairing it with calorie restriction. So I would recommend that you focus more on the dietary changes in your life for weight loss. Now again, that's not to say that exercise does not help. So our lean body mass is what gives us the majority of our metabolism. And by exercising throughout your weight loss journey, building muscle will help us to maintain our metabolism. So final summary, if you can only focus on one aspect, I recommend to focus on the dietary aspect. If you can focus on both, then the best option would be to combine diet plus exercise for weight loss. And there you have it. These are the most common myths surrounding weight loss. I hope that really helped you guys get a clear sense of what doesn't work for weight loss. If you found this helpful, then please like this video, and also don't forget to subscribe to my channel for more nutrition information and other nonsense in the future. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you soon.